The NFL trade deadline is this Wednesday, and with the New York Giants sitting at 2-7, I want to ask you, should they be buyers or should they be sellers? Let me know. This is New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and a quick reminder, we're going to be live for the NFL trade deadline all day Wednesday, breaking it down as well as covering the NFL trade deadline for all 32 NFL teams with a hyper focus on Big Blue. So if you want the best coverage on trade deadline day, subscribe to the channel. I believe at 2-7, the New York Giants should be sellers, and I think that they should be major sellers. I believe that they should be doing everything they can to make sure the next general manager for this team has as many resources and picks as well as ammunition to make this team great once again. I don't know if that will happen, though, with Joe Schoen still in his job. I would fire him on Monday morning, and then I would put someone in the position that's going to do what's best for this football team. And I believe it is selling some of their best players. It hurts my heart and it makes my stomach hurt to say, if a team gives you a big time offer to go ahead and trade for Dexter Lawrence, I think you should heavily consider pulling the trigger. I think Dexter Lawrence is one of the best players to have ever played for the New York Giants. I don't know if Dexter Lawrence is still that player. And I don't know if we are ever going to see that guy again. Is he hurt? You know what? I hope he is hurt. And I hope that is why he's not playing at the level that he once set. I don't want to hear, but Marshall, he leads the NFL in double teams. Dexter Lawrence has been double teamed the most for the last couple of years. But he was able to beat those double teams. And he was able to make impact plays when being doubled. He no longer does that. And this isn't to say that Dexter Lawrence is no good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't see the New York Giants being a contender in Dexter Lawrence's prime any longer. Unless he's hurt. If he's hurt, then all of this doesn't matter. But I'm going to judge him as if he is not hurt because he's going out there and playing and he says he's not hurt. And for the double team crowd, he was blocked one-on-one on that Brian Robinson touchdown. And I get it. Not everyone is going to win every rep. But one of the most important positions to stopping the run is the interior defensive line. And the New York Giants, over the past couple of years, have been one of the worst run defenses in the National Football League. The Giants, coming into today, we're allowing 148.9 rushing yards per game. That clearly is going to go up after you gave up 170 or something or whatever it was to the Niners. In 2024, you gave up 136 yards per game, ranked 27th. The year before that, 132 yards per game, ranked 29th. In 2022, 144.1 yards per game, ranked 27th. And in 2021, you gave up 129 rushing yards per game, ranked 25th. This man deserves almost all of the blame for that. But the New York Giants also need their star players to make plays. And Dexter Lawrence is not playing at the level that he once has. And I believe if there's a team out there that wants to say, we'll give you 2 first-round picks for Dexter Lawrence, I would do the deal. If a team is willing to give 1 first-round pick, I'm going to listen. If a team is willing to give you a first and a third-round pick, that's hard for me to say no. On the flip side of that, I also understand that you want to maximize a rookie scale contract at the quarterback position. And you should be in the mode of collecting really good football players. And I believe that. But I also believe that the new general manager should have as many picks at his disposal to rebuild a football team that this man could not. So am I trading Dexter Lawrence away for nothing? No. Am I listening if it's a first-round pick? Yes. If a team gives you 2 first-round picks, I would do it. And for Kayvon Thibodeaux, who Dexter Lawrence will stay here. Dexter Lawrence said after the game he doesn't want to play and he isn't thinking about playing anywhere else. Kayvon Thibodeaux also said after the game that he wants to be here. I think Kayvon Thibodeaux is having a better year this year than he has in the past. I don't know how you could pay him $100 million. I don't know how you can pay him $90 million. Kayvon is a solid player. He's not an elite player. And if a team like, say, the San Francisco 49ers want to give you a first-round pick for Kayvon Thibodeaux to be the guy that fills the shoes for Nick Bosa this year, I would probably trade Kayvon Thibodeaux for a first-round pick. And I would use that pick to add maybe another defensive end. And then I would use that money in free agency to build up the offense. I hate having this conversation because I believe that when you pick players and you develop players, you should keep those players. But you have people in charge that don't know how to build a football team. And it's become very, very clear. So I'm not saying sell low on Kayvon Thibodeaux. I'm not saying sell low on Dexter Lawrence. But if teams are willing to give up first-round pick or picks for those 2 guys, it's hard for me to say no at this point. It just is. And you know what? The Giants won't do it. And maybe that's the right call. Maybe I'm just upset. But I do believe that there needs to be a shift in focus to next year and the years after and the new regime and moving on from this guy. Because in 4 seasons, outside of him making a playoff run with a roster that wasn't him, what has he done? Except for lose games at an all-time rate and let talented players leave for nothing and let players that were crap here succeed elsewhere. And like even when he has paid players, they don't make impacts here. Paulson Adebo has not made an impact this year. Javon Holland has not made an impact this year. Chauncey Golston has not made an impact this year. He never pushes the right buttons. So this is a combination of the Giants need to get him out of office, and they need to put someone in position of power at the trade deadline to do what's best for the future New York Giants. I don't know. Because the future is Jaxson Dart, and you need to do what's best for him long term. Just think about this philosophy. We brought back 10 of 11 starters on the second worst scoring offense last year. We did nothing to improve the offense. We spent all of our resources on the defense, but we're going to try to develop a rookie quarterback. Like when you say those things out loud and you process them and you think like, wait, so the Giants want to draft a rookie quarterback. They want to develop rookie quarterback. And their plan to do so is to bring back 10 of the 11 starters that were a part of a starting offense that scored the 31st most points in the league last year. Like, I don't know. I want to bring on my guy Andrew Connell. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm off here. I don't want you to agree with me. I want you to speak how you feel about this one, Andrew Connell. I just don't understand Joe Schoen. I don't understand this football team. Move your mic down. I'll let the people know what you're thinking, my man.
Yeah. the numbers don't lie. We did a video earlier this week kind of detailing Joe Schoen's draft history and all of his moves as well as his free agent moves, and there have been a lot more misses than there have been hits. And, yeah, I mean, that's just it. The data's there. He's not good enough at getting good football players onto the New York Giants, and he lets far too many good football players leave the New York Giants. I think I'll give him. I don't know what the thinking was. The Giants did not expect to make the playoffs in 2022. I think they wanted to slow play their rebuild under Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. They did, and that kind of changed their philosophy. And I don't know if he made different moves because of it, but letting a lot of their good players go doesn't really qualify as a win now move for me, as they let guys like Barkley, Williams, McKinney all leave. He just hasn't been good enough. I think that's pretty clear. And the best football teams in the NFL are the ones that are the deepest. And so every team in the NFL is going to deal with injuries. Like the Giants are dealing with injuries, some league neighbors and Cam Skattebo, and those are devastating injuries. But like the best teams in the NFL have good players and they have depth behind them. And you're in year 4, you should be at the point where you have depth on your roster. You've had 4 years to pretty much every guy, unless they were a good player, has been flipped from the roster before you. So these are guys, all the guys that are playing now are guys you brought in, even though they're injured. They're backups. They're guys you brought in. If they're not good enough, that's on you.
And I even think about Dexter Lawrence, Dave Gettleman, Andrew Thomas, Dave Gettleman. Those are blue chip players. Mm-hmm. He's got Brian Burns, and that's it.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors, congrats. You lost enough games to pick in the top 6. Nothing can convince me that this guy is a good enough GM to win you a Super Bowl. But I think where I'm at is trying to balance the fact of sell versus hold on to talent and doing what would be in the best interest of the Giants' future.
Yeah, I think. Listen, he's not going to sell because
he can't.
He's the only way he's going to do that is if he wants to win as many games as possible to try and keep his job. The only way he would sell is if he got a guarantee he was coming back next year. I don't think they will do that at this point in the season. I don't think they should do that at this point in the season. So it's just whether he's going to stand pat and buy. Like we've talked about this a lot. The Giants have let far too many good football players leave their team in the past couple of years. You kind of just want to figure it out. And I don't know, if they decide to try and trade a guy like Kayvon Thibodeaux, can you flip him, maybe not even for a draft pick, but a promising young player at a different position that they need? Because this is edge rusher is the one position, or defensive line is the one position they kind of have a lot of talent.
But I 100% agree with you. Their defensive line can't stop the run. They haven't been able to stop the run for 5 years. And Kayvon's numbers against the run this year are good. I just think at some point, your defensive line has to be the reason you stop the run. And the only way I would trade Kayvon is if I'm getting a first-round pick, because I want the new GM to make that pick.
Yeah.
I want the new GM to say, I want this player to be on my football team because that's how I want to build my football team. I don't even know if Kayvon Thibodeaux played football against the Niners on Sunday.
Yeah, he did not have his best game. The Giants' defense was pretty bad overall.
You can't be a team that invests all their money on the D-line and also be a team that can't stop the run. That doesn't compute in my brain.
Yeah, we talked about they have a top 5 salary defense. You should not have any weaknesses. You should be able to cover everything. You shouldn't have any level of the defense that has with that much money and that much draft capital. You should have superstar players at each level on the defense, and you should be keeping teams under 20 points more often than not. Giants have not done that. And to your point about the new GM, yeah, I guess if you want them to make a decision, I would say don't do anything at the trade deadline. Just kind of leave it. Let him decide if he wants to keep Kayvon Thibodeaux or not.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So just do nothing. I have a feeling they're not going to do anything because they lost again. Now they're 2-7. There's no chance of doing anything this season. I don't think, unless they find something. They may do a back end of the roster move, but they seem more content to try and sign guys that are available and put them on the practice squad. They've done that with receiver a few times. They just added Ray McLeod. So, do I expect them to make a trade? No.
I think the Giants need to do something to help Jaxson Dart on offense, but I also don't want him to be able to make any more decisions. I don't want him to be able to trade away picks at this point. I mean,
they're already at a pick deficit because they traded up, which is fine. You gave up your third, I think it was, to go up and get Dart. So, but they're already now a third-round pick is a premium draft asset. They're already down that this year. The only way I see them making a move is like a 6-7 swap or something like that for a back end a player of the roster or something. But that's not making a difference for them at this point. Let's be honest. So, yeah, I don't see them going and overpaying for anyone.
2-7 again. It's just brutal. We'll be live for the trade deadline. Make sure you're subscribed and give me a follow on social media. First place you'll hear if the Giants make a move or don't is on my Twitter. So hit me up.